Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, where I introduce to you ranked #1 in the world by Dark, and starting things off apparently with a conversation. The former world champion, the final boss, criticizing his opponent. We've given it away. It's Dark. And, well, you already know it's Micro Jackson, it's ByuN. Dark commenting, did ByuN actually do a Reaper expand? ByuN has been doing proxy racks, mass Reaper, 2 base all-ins, and all of that. And Dark apparently has been paying attention. A best of 3 TVZ. And if you want to see Dark continue to actually continue to criticize ByuN and the banter between these two world champions, well, make sure to like and subscribe. Oh my god. And Jimmy, what 1,240 likes on this video, on this cast. And we'll just let Dark and ByuN commentate. And I'll cast another series. I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far, and hopefully it's about to get a little bit better. Yes, so Dark commented that ByuN went Reaper expand for once, which his Overlord scouted and saw it. And then ByuN pretended to talk about his Reaper, like, where did it go? And Dark realized, you know what, there should have been a Reaper here by now, and called him out on it. And now you're all caught up. And Dark actually said, so yeah, you built Marines. And I'm sure Dark knows that is the other unit ByuN builds. Occasionally he'll throw some Hellions in, occasionally some siege tanks, but Marines and Reapers. And Dark has some commentary here. Is he really going to do the chat? Bye. That sets the not the Yerglings, the Zerglings in. Wow. The classic, where are you from? Right before sending in the Zerglings. I actually might get the Hellions here. The Medevac's not in position. He just keeps making Zerglings. Dark decided to just Zerg rush him. You know what? If ByuN's going to try to pull it over on him, I'm going to... For anyone else, that might be a yellow card, but for Dark, it's another day at the office, as he just overruns it, making ByuN regret not going for the Mass Reaper build. Here in game #1 on it. I didn't even get time to talk about how these are new maps for the Team Liquid map contest. Well, but here we are. This one, a bit of an odd layout, but not so odd that Zerglings aren't going to find their way into the base. 5 SCVs down. ByuN is supply block because he had supply depots at the front. He has to rely on more Hellions and Cloak Banshees. Overall, it wasn't the end of the world, but certainly Dark takes the initiative and will keep a hold of it for quite a while yet. The Banshee has been spotted, or at least, did he see? He saw the starport upgrading Cloak. All right, he knows. And already has Spore Crawlers in position. But I do love how Dark can figure out ByuN's build just by what ByuN says or doesn't say. ByuN, you know, I gotta keep going back to that 2016 finals when ByuN won the World Championship with a 4-2 victory over Dark. And many of those games featuring the Mass Reaper style that ByuN would then get nerfed, but still uses to this day anyways. So this is about as nostalgic as a matchup can get, while still being 2 of the top 10 players in the world. Hellbat saw the choice. I don't know if that's what ByuN wanted to start. In fact, almost certainly not, but it's what he has now. The Queens are holding the line, going for the Medevac. Loses one, but the Spore Crawler gets into position and helps out against the Banshees. Gonna try to burn through the Queens. But get off my creep! Oh my god, Lucille, calm down. Sorry, I blacked out for a second. Dark with the Queens and Queens alone. The Zerglings have all been burnt to a crisp, but the Queens hold the line against the half-hearted Hellbat Banshee attack. And now ByuN's just going mech. Alright, what is this? That is a misclick is what that is. Nope, no burrowedlings there. That... more than likely trying to drop a mule and somehow fat-fingered it, which is an impressive feat. But ByuN clearly a bit taken aback here. He's going for the Hyper Sheet. He's got 4 factories in production, which is a big reach here. Dark shutting down that attack takes relative map control. It's not really map control when you have queens, as it's quite a commitment for them to be marching across the map. But he knows there's no way ByuN can really damage him for quite a while yet, though he doesn't know about the commitment to mech. Thing is, as Dark in this scenario, going roaches, zerglings, and banelings is going to be your good middle-of-the-road style. The only difference will be how much he commits, especially to zerglings, which are just not that helpful, even against the hell clones. You need enough to keep them from just kiting the zerglings into oblivion, but you don't usually want that to be your main composition. But Dark, already he's got plenty of roaches on the way. He's got roach speed. Infestation Pit, very importantly, as a hive, and infestors themselves. He has no qualms about going for infestors early on. In fact, swarm hosts are on the table. This map, as we saw, this is where he played against Max Packs. I'm not sure if it's before or after this series, but same tournament. So, where we clearly saw, with bases laid out like this, mineral walls, anything where your main bases are closer together than the outlying ones makes swarm hosts more of an option. But he doesn't know he's up against mech yet, or at least he hasn't taken a look around. There are infestors on the way, as well as a hive. Meanwhile, hurricane thrusters, hell clones, blue flame, the queens, transfuse is here. And the roach is more than a match for the Hellions at the front. I think this is a giveaway. The non-combat shielded Marines. ByuN already getting driven back. The roaches are taking everything they can get. And what they can get is a surprising amount of Hellions. The Banshees join up. The Hypershees cannot be caught by anything but Mutas. Corruptors are almost as fast, but they're not quite there. So the Hypershees are kind of this band-aid defense, as they're not going to stop all the roaches on their own. Very likely not. But there's something to keep Dark from just chasing him down and beating his head against the ground with the roaches. 4 Hypershees. Transfuses. Still painful. Snipes off a Banshee, but the infestors are here to make things more difficult. Dark losing some more drones. And very importantly, ByuN buying time for his upgrades. Cyclones, their auto attack, their lock on. Oh my god. There's no... Well, he runs out of energy awkwardly. ByuN still finding the most microable units in the Terran army, even when he's playing mech. Speed Cyclones and Speed Banshees. Just takes any unit with a speed upgrade. I guess Stim is technically a speed upgrade. One of these mixed bases we've started adding in. The theme of this map contest is freestyle. So before there were themes like standard, rush, macro, which all ended up being suspiciously close to standard because pro gamers would veto them otherwise. But if we make the entire map pool a little bit different, then maybe we force them to play on maps that are more interesting, at least for the rest of us. Which pro gamers are not big fans of most of the time. But Dark, who knows? Well, that's a lot of Cyclones, though. It looked like a fungal opportunity, but there's not really that many units here for Dark. And he's going for the Operation Overlord. The mass drop. Create a beachhead in the Terran main. He has a lurker down on the way, but it looks like he's just going to try to stretch the Cyclones every which way, because Cyclones need to be microed. In a straight-up fight against roaches and hydras, they lose. They're quite expensive compared to the roach hydra composition, and it's almost impossible, though I'm sure ByuN could pull it off, to micro on multiple fronts simultaneously. All right, the mass drop. He's even got some Zerglings in there. This is a brute force approach. He's not trying to use any sort of real finesse. He's just trying to stretch them apart like a Laffy Taffy. Or at least getting the last laugh. Taffy. Moving on. Upgrades finishing across the board. Adrenal glands and 2-2, just as Dark is moving in. He's got the infestors. He's clearly drawing ByuN's attention. The main base is huge, but he doesn't see the edge of it. ByuN, he's in the dark about Dark, and Dark will exploit that. Well, oh my god, wombo combo, parasitic bomb and fungal. Knocking out some of the Banshees. Meanwhile, into the main base, the Hydras and Zerglings, the siege tanks. Cyclone's trying to come down the ramp between a rocking a hard place. Siege Tank's just wandering in and Dark getting exactly what he wanted here, which is keeping ByuN busy and ripping apart what units he can. But look at the supply. Look at it. Well, Dark is refilling. He's got a lot of money in the bank. I take it back. It's not that horrible, but ByuN holds pretty strongly. He did lose the main orbital. He lost some SCVs, but he still got 88 SCVs, which is perfectly enough to keep his economy going, obviously. Dark now adding in lurkers, which only the Banshees and Siege Tanks are really going to have a good chance against. And there's 6 Siege Tanks and 1 Banshee. The rest of the army is Cyclones, which just do not stack up well against the lurkers. More Zerglings. The thing is, ByuN, while he defended, doesn't really have much opportunity to go on offense now. And these Cyclones are a glaring weakness in his unit composition. They're good early, they're okay later, but right now they're a liability. They are just not going to do well on the field. He needs to try to trade them away as efficiently as possible, but he's still making 9 Cyclones at a time. So we'll see how it works out for him. If he can support the tanks, it might be enough. He's going to use them as sort of the marauder of Terran. But Dark is taking the rest of the map here. So there's not much time for ByuN to maintain a foothold before Dark starts taking it out from under him. The Vipers on the field. There are no ghosts. Yanks in a tank. Blinding Cloud on the Cyclones. It doesn't work once they've already locked on, but it helps out initially. And ByuN is maxed out. He's got +3 weapons for that Mech army. It's not going to get any better on that front. Blading would help, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to position and execution. Dark sending in another. He's doing lurker drops. Wait, those are lurkers, right? Yeah. Burrows the lurkers. Meanwhile, more in the main. Engaging on the front simultaneously. Right through the gauntlet here. The Valley of Death. But at the same time, the lurkers are shredding. They just eviscerate the Cyclones. Oh my god, that lurker killed like 6-7 clones. A Nidus to reinforce. Dark throwing more Niduses in. The Queens are here. Dark is everywhere. And ByuN is out in game 1. Just unable to make any headway at any point. Dark ripped him to shreds. A typical Dark experience. There is no really finding a strong target at that stage of the game. Dark, if he can't fight you head-on, and fighting Siege Tanks head-on is not usually a profitable endeavor, he will go around. And he has so many creative ways to do so. ByuN probably regretting that lack of Reapers early on, to the point Dark making fun of him somewhat. But game 1 will go to Dark. Game 2 already. Dark starts out with a GLHF, which he didn't put a smirk next to it, but it feels like there's a smirk attached. ByuN says, like, essentially, LOL, I believe, is what that translation is. Like, good luck, have fun. He's like, uh-huh, I'm sure. You don't seem like the kind of guy to just type GLHF. He didn't in game 1. Important to note. Now we're on El Dorado, which, if you remember the map Golden Wall, well, yeah, this is Golden Wall version 2. As, quite literally, essentially the same layout, where you have the bottom half of the map is unlocked via mineral walls. The bases are in those bottom left and bottom right corners. It's not exactly the same, but the same principles and the clear inspiration, and I think the description literally says based on Golden Wall. So one of the most divisive yet entertaining maps in StarCraft 2 history. And here we are. ByuN's like, is this Golden Wall? Dark says, can you read? Alright, maybe Crank will translate. I hope so. As I would actually, it's, hey dude, do you know that? What? What is that? And that was it? That was the end? What is this? Hello? And there's no follow-up to that? You are such a bastard. Wow. Wow. That's Dark who responds with that. ByuN leaving him hanging, so... Now, I'm 90% sure it is in jest, as these players trash talk each other all the time, and these two more than most. But you are good at dancing. And the Overlord. Wow. Oh. ByuN giving some compliments as the Overlord. So a side effect of the bases being laid out like this is that the Overlords do get in quicker and can show off their sick tentacle dance moves. Feels like something is coming. Maybe that's just the feeling of Dark. Alright. Something's coming. TM. Well, except Dark has gone just straight up 3 hatch. He's living rent-free in ByuN's head, clearly. But that's been happening for quite a while. ByuN is going for Marines. You already knew that. He tried mech, though I will say that was kind of a half-hearted attempt at mech. It felt like he went mech in spite after that early game, as opposed to that was the plan all along. It definitely felt like he just threw it on there. You gotta be careful drinking water when these two are talking as well. I almost learned that lesson the hard way just moments ago. So I'll have to keep that build in mind in the future. As, oh my god. I don't know what I expected, but you are such a bastard is, not exactly what I thought I was going to see today. But I wouldn't have ruled it out either, to be fair. Two medevacs, 16 Marines, stim pack. No combat shield, no +1. This is a ByuN build, indeed. Just gonna try to drop out. And Dark has 9 roaches, 5 queens. ByuN just working around the edges to start. Stims the Marines to try to kill the Overseer. Succeeds. Though, he was focusing on that, so a little bit slower on getting the damage done with the medevacs here. Oh my. A bit disjointed, but gets it all together. We'll pick up, really using the fact that Dark is unable to literally move units down here. Dark has already moved those Overlords out of the way. At least he has that going for him. A lot of gas mining out of Dark right now. He's like 50 drones, and he's got like 12 of them on gas. No, more than that, 15. He's up. Is this Mass Ravager? Infestation Pit. That'll do it. Oh yeah, he's mining from 6 gas geysers now. So, that is a huge commitment at this stage of the game. Guns down a Ravager, gets out. I love this. Added into the map. The Marines drop out. What if Marines only could get loaded in at the rate they drop out? Alright. The sound of 1,000 Terrans screaming. Meanwhile, yeah, well, without much more support, there are plenty of roaches to help deal with this. ByuN just kind of chipping away at the edges. Dark with a 6-minute and 40-second hive. Oh, what is going on back there? That's what happens when the Marines don't make it back to the dropship. Infestors on the way. Dark pretty much doing the same sort of style we saw last game. The roaches into infestors. But this time around, it's going to be burrow move roaches. An interesting yet welcome choice. We haven't seen the roach sharks being quite a bit. Especially against bio. It's a... Roaches just don't age well. Against the bio army, usually. Even though you can max out, you can't usually bring that many units to bear. But burrow move roaches, tunneling claws, such a dark move. He goes underneath, he goes around, he goes over, and he goes through. All the options are on the table. We're getting Zergling speed now as well. Meanwhile, oh my god, he just melted. Every single marine is dead. ByuN has only killed a roach and a ravager. He's lost a medevac and 16 marines. I'm not a mathematician, but those trades don't add up. Trying to work his way. How many minerals in this wall? 10 apiece. So several trips there. 3 siege tanks on the high ground. Vipers. Oh my god. He burrowed the roaches. Did he notice? Oh my god. I want Dark to say something. Even though it'll give away what he's doing. Well, he did say goodbye last game before he sent the lings in, so it isn't unprecedented. Unfortunately, well, he built a turret. I think he noticed either the roach warren upgrading or he just had his suspicions. As this is not unprecedented. A surprise! There's more. Wait, what? There's a siege tank at the watchtower on the other side of the mineral wall. Well, that is certainly something. The roach ravager can't get through. Well, I'm not sure if the ravagers can hit it, but I don't know if it's worth it either way. He's building ultralisks. Well, this is painful. Can he mine any of this? He might get one. He does. He's unlocked the middle of the map. Kind of a painful process, but he will eventually open up. I don't think a one space gap is going to be the amount of surface area he needs to fight here. ByuN has 50 marines, 6 siege tanks, and is building Mirage. I think he noticed it, burrow. Wait, are those destructible rock towers? Did either player know he noticed? He must notice now. They accidentally damaged it. I'm pretty sure he could wall this off with those. Oh, Dark realized! And he takes down the rock. I'm not rocked in here with you. But I don't know who this helps more, but it certainly changes the dynamic. ByuN now has the bottom half of the map. Dark. Why are all maps Terran favored? Why is terrain Terran favored? What's wrong with it? Yeah, we're all thinking it, Dark. Besides the Terrans who are like, finally, a map for me. Dark, not enjoying the logistical struggles of navigating mineral walls while medevacs burst past, or boost past even. The Ultralisk Cavern will be targeted. The Bio Army. Well, there's a parasitic bomb. Fungal could help. A bit off the mark with it. Drops out. There was an SCV in that medevac. But he still has to deal with these. There's a few Marines still in the main. Dropping out here. Not enough for Parabomb. The other Viper does indeed have it. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Manages to quarantine it in time. Medevac comes back. Meanwhile, surprising that Dark was able to mine from here at all. Ultras will chew. Oh my. That's how they... He must feed the Moopies. Moopies, brought to you by Monster Energy. How do you think they get those marine helmets? Army supplies evening up. Where do you think the rest of the marine went? The first course. There's that gold base down here. ByuN sieging his way past. The Ultras trying to keep it together. Takes down one medevac. Transfuses work on the rest. He's got several Vipers with this, but the Ghosts show up. Still, though, able to get good parasitic bombs. Corrosive Bile and Parabombs take out more. Dark desperately trying to protect his base so he can mine from the gold minerals. But El Dorado is a fickle mistress. Or something profound like that. You go for the gold, but all you'll find is blood. Also some gold, but it's not worth that much. In fact, the gold minerals only mine faster. You don't get more of them over time, so really, is it worth it? Another rock tower. Oh my god. And that just walls this off? ByuN starting really working the map here, and I'm sure Dark not going to be hyped about that. Scanning for infestors and burrowed roaches. The ghost tank push. And Dark's main is vulnerable. You can't just give this up. The snipes. Corrosive Bile dangerous, but snipes much more so. Oh, gotta be careful. Lines up another volley. Good fungal. Chews through more ghosts. But, well, it's a tough one. Both these bases will be taken out simultaneously. Dark is building broods. Another volley of snipes. Corrosive Bile actually gets one ghost. Down goes one hatch. Ling's looking for the surround. ByuN about to finish +3 infantry weapons. Another good fungal. ByuN has plenty of minerals, but not that much gas in the bank. He hasn't even ventured out to he's mining the gold from the back here. Not bothering with the gas, which would explain the minerals yet so little gas bank. But the Broodlords may finally help to work through the tanks. The ghosts have a lot of energy, but there's no medevacs. There's just one coming up here. Some infestors on the back line. One fungal could devastate the ghost count, but he's not getting the fungal. Snipes take out a brood. He's working through these tanks. The tanks working through the tanks as well, trying to keep it together. The transfuse is helping out a lot. The Broodlord siege continues. The ghosts and the tanks, having a unloving relationship here as the broodlings rain down, and then the tanks obliterate the broodlings, not really caring that the ghosts are just steps away. More snipes, though. ByuN keeping it together. Dark has taken the northern side of the map, including that center base. The corrosive biles hit home, but they don't actually end up killing really anything. That fungal gonna help out a lot, but the last Broodlord went down. Infestors wandering forward will be taken out. A bloody battle. ByuN tried to venture out from his fortress here, but he did not succeed. If he mines, wait, are those small mineral patches mined through? There's a gap. He runs through it. Oh my god. How many orbitals? There's 8 orbitals. It's not a gold base to the north, but that it is a base. He's gonna force out the scans here, which, you know, are not in short supply. And neither is ByuN in general. 184 to 154. Dark, unable to keep a critical mass of units alive. And it feels like ByuN is grinding towards an inevitable conclusion, but Dark still has some of the most dangerous units. Oh, this is awkward. Get out, get out, get out, get out! It kind of melts. Dark still owns the northern half of the map, but, and by half I mean like 2/3. And it does have slightly more bases, I believe. But ByuN has plenty of command centers. This set of rocks and the mineral wall, really a parallel system here. Is this intentional? Does he want to be taking down these rocks? It looks like yes. Then why isn't everyone participating in the group activity? Hello? Thaddeus, what are you doing? Hello, anyone? Does anyone know why he's shooting at those rocks? Hello? Well, okay. Just let him go. The rocks will eventually be taken down, but the mineral wall is still there. Dark had some burrowedlings. Some drones just hanging out over here. No liberators yet. Fusion core is now on the way, which means I think we will be seeing liberators relatively soon. Dark is long distance mining from these gold minerals, trying to get as many as he can. ByuN He still has mining, but he's trying to get a foothold out on the map before he completely runs out. Another planetary to the north. He doesn't have high-sec auto-tracking nor building armor, so still an opportunity to kill those relatively quickly. Once those are done, you have to focus pretty much everything on the planetaries. Meanwhile, Infestors, Fungal, but the rest of the energy. And Thaddeus, you son of a bitch! I can't believe you took down those rocks! Well, the Zerglings do slip through, which actually creates an odd scenario because of the pathfinding. That turret will burn. There is just enough space. There's no detection here. Finally, an Overseer showing up. He's gonna murder all of these ghosts. ByuN with a weird amount of units kind of caught out here. The ghosts... Oh, he killed the Overseer, but there's 4 more. So, now a Parabomb. Meanwhile, though, ByuN's still working on his half. Dark holding it together, despite the struggles of the map, which does feel very difficult for Zerg to really... I mean... How many orbitals? 8 orbitals, 3 planetaries, 4 other command centers, 2 more in production, nearly 20 command centers in less than 20 minutes. ByuN investing in the future, but Dark is now mining essentially on every base, including the one he doesn't even have a hatchery yet. 4 Liberators at a time here. Orbitals. We're at 12 oh my god. It seems a bit gratuitous. He's now building a planetary outside Dark's main, near the Gold Horde. Things slow down as both players starting to run out of options and are getting locked into this late game composition. 3 more factories for ByuN? That's crazy. He's going up to 5 factories. This for tanks? I guess. Maybe Thor's if needed, but getting +3 Mac weapons. Meanwhile, Dark. Whoa. A few Zerglings slip around. The Queen's on the opposite side. The siege tank, Thaddeus over here, still holding the watchtower. 30 kills, by the way. Zergling and Ultra. But there's rocks here as well. Without anything to support the tanks, the Lings will actually get through. But 10 Broodlords in production. There's that Thor composition. EMPs before a follow-up Fungal. Snipes onto the Infestors. Banelings roll in, killing some of the ghosts. The ghosts at point blank will take out the Ultralisks here. And Dark is out of gas. ByuN still holding strong. Dark is lost. 8,000 more minerals. Only 400 more gas, but he's mined 1,300 less overall. Finally getting high-sec auto-tracking and building armor. ByuN, clearly not a Bronze League hero. And more Vikings and more Thors. How many Infestors left? 5 Infestors, as Dark is kind of relegated to playing a very late-game scenario. Parabomb. I mean, it doesn't stack, but with 1 corrosive bile, I think that's enough. Wow. Just barely enough. EMPs. There's no detection here, though. The ghosts chewing through. Meanwhile, the Zerglings, the ghosts chewing through. 16 ghosts now. Liberators being added in. Eventually, the Viper kills his own extractor awkwardly. ByuN wants this base. Dark just finally rebuilt a hatchery here, but finally taking down that second set of rocks. The Broodlords gonna rain down. There's nothing to directly deal with them up here, but the ghosts are coming. Looking for the Fungal, finds it. I don't know if there are any follow-ups. Not quite. Snipes get a Viper. Another Brood. There's no Fungals! Meanwhile, the Zerglings will actually deal with the rest, but check and mate. Dark eventually ground down by the ghosts. He just doesn't have enough resources. He can't hold on to enough stuff. A tough experience for the Zerg, but eventually he's able to grind through. Wow, sitting behind his wall, eventually firing over those rocks. What a Terran experience that was. On El Dorado, mining all those juicy golden minerals. Dark, I'm interested to see Dark's commentary on that match. As we go to Game 3, I'm not sure, but I suspect we may get a bit more... either that or he's just going to be seething. Option 2 is seething. But I don't know what I would be after a game like that, but I wouldn't be happy. ByuN played it well. He really embraced the style of the map pretty early on. And he pushed the point home. Siege tanks at the... So the reason that historically we've shied away from putting watchtowers in the middle of the map, and like at key locations that aren't to scout outlying sides, is because you can slap a siege tank down next to a watchtower, which ByuN demonstrated to great effect there. How strong that can be at controlling key locations. But now we're on Sacred Isle, in my opinion, the most beautiful. There are some great looking maps in the new map contest, but always a sucker for the split map style, where one side here we got the yellowish, like Zelnaga Fortress, or maybe just Protoss. On the other side is like Terran Industry. Of course, they are symmetrical. It's just a aesthetic difference here, but you know what? I'm a sucker for it. Okay. I really like it. Ah, here we go. Nothing to say? Dark? No comments? No comments. Is this a bug? He's got a lot of bugs. I don't know what you're talking about, ByuN. Dark just giving him the silent treatment. Oh, I take it back. Question mark, I think just demonstrates the point. I guess so. I'm not sure what we saw. To be honest. Wonder if it has something to do with like the Reaper Cliff. Is he trying to come out? Well, there's clearly a Reaper Cliff location there. It looks like he's testing it. There should be no other way around. Maybe back here? There is a pocket base. This definitely is a more defensive style map. Our first map of the series so far that... Well, this is game 3, so the last map as well. Now it gets in... There was like a critter there. It's clearly designed in... Oh my god, they got some moopies in the cage. Cage fight. Oh yeah, also a Reaper here. Oh! Stop right there, criminal scum. Oh, he did it.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Finally. Oh, that was satisfying. But ByuN has some commentary. Why are you acting like you are... You are God, or you are good. Either is better. This map is also built by you. Oh, ByuN trying to pretend like maps are built by Zerg players. I'll have you know, I played on many of these maps against the map creators, and almost all of them are Terrans. But let's see what Dark has to say to that as the Overlord getting pushed away. Not that that necessarily is a bias, but some players may look at great siege tank positions more as a positive than a negative. And I think we saw the split on that last game. But that was indeed... Well, getting that Reaper caught and ByuN like, don't think you're too good, Dark. All right. It's gonna be Marines, by the way. A quicker lair. Not particularly rushed, but definitely on the quicker side of things for Dark. There are some bubulas here. Or Wulas, rather. Bubulas are the slow zones. Wulas are the speed zones that increase the speed by, I believe it's 35%. I think they're technically called acceleration zones, but that's dumb. So, that does not increase attack speed, but I mean, for things like Zerglings, it effectively increases DPS, but affects ground and air, but once again, only movement speed. Allows you to chase things down, maybe in the center of the map. There are some bubulas in the back here. Make it a little bit harder to get out, or even get in with things like drops or mutas. Lair is complete. Baneling Nest is finishing. Taking the base at the back, which only has 6 patches and a gas geyser. 1 gas geyser, not 2. Key difference. Because it's a arguably more defensible base, is usually the trade-off for pocket bases. Now, as Zerg, a bit harder to defend against things like medevacs, but also hard to assault the Terran ones, so you don't want them having too many minerals back there. 1-1 on the way, Armory. 1-1 for Dark, but about a minute behind, so should be quite an upgrade advantage for ByuN, potentially. There is a mineral wall here with 2 trips on it as well. He's gonna unlock that, and a much more direct attack path with his Marines. Any siege tanks? Psh, Marines. And some medevacs, of course, but mostly Marines. There are currently 31 Marines on the map to 26 Zerglings and 7 Banes. So, he's gonna pick up, sees the medevacs, changeling, oh. ByuN actually gonna split off. If he outright attacked, maybe it was a deadly time. It would be ByuN looking to exploit that back base if possible. Gonna be very hard for Dark to decide exactly how many units to leave back home, as Zergling is not known for their flight capabilities despite their wings. The Zerglings get us around. Surprised he didn't pick up earlier. Actually only loses 3 Marines, so he's obviously the smarter one about it. Meanwhile, another attack coming out. ByuN out to the corner. Just gonna hang out for a while. There is no anti-air besides Queens and Spores, so nothing gonna be able to deal with him directly. Some Whittle Mines added in. Dark did unlock this center area, so ByuN can't use it against him. The Whittle Mine's out at the front. He spots it. He saw it on the creep. Awkwardly trying to drag the mines out. And we'll deal with it. But the creep is receding. There's still those 2 medevacs at the back. Supplies dead even. 2-2 is started for both sides. ByuN's still going to maintain the 30+ second advantage. Hive. Wow, Hive is about to complete for Dark. He's just trying to hold the line for long enough to get that Hive tech out and ready. The Whittle Mine, 2 kills. He was able to deal with it. Another mine coming up. Hydra's in production. Those medevacs are out on another, like they're out in the lake in the corner there. Oh, it looks very zen. Relatively chill. Like a whole ass lake back there. Interesting. Like just like a normal looking, like Earth-like trees. Terrans like it. Sacred Isle indeed. I don't know if we're on the island or the island somewhere nearby. But either way. Hydraling Bane. Dark does have a Hive done, but he hasn't had an opportunity to get any of that Hive tech. Draws out a stim. Still just gonna go. Doesn't want to give ByuN too much time here. The Banelings crash through. Unclear who got the better end of this exchange. The double drop is headed back. No adrenal. There it is. Adrenal glands is on the way. What? No. Did one Zergling just cancel a base on it? What a hero! It just started, but still. Oh wait, did it destroy it? I think he just canceled it. Wow, we gave him that much credit. It outright destroyed a base. The hero Zergling outright destroyed 400 minerals gone because of one Zergling. Now that is a better trade. ByuN still. He's about to finish +2 attack. This is the most dangerous timing for Dark for the foreseeable future. He needs to defend here, and he's got to do it potentially with an upgrade disadvantage, or at the very least, with even army supply against a mid-game Terran. His 2-2 is not quite done yet. ByuN will trade better. And he's on his doorstep, so there's not going to be much time to refill anything. Oh, no, 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 no. A Widow Mine. Another one hit over here, too. And Dark drops in supply, but he's going to have time to finish +2/+2. And Adrenal Glands is nearly completed. Dark is remaxed out. He's got 90 Zerglings with 48 more in production. But 5 medevacs are headed towards the back. And there's no way that base is going to survive, but do any others. Meanwhile, that's so much Terran. The Banelings are rolling through, trying to drag out the mines as well. He does a good job, but the Banelings aren't enough. ByuN, Terran through the back line and working through the front. He's got 3 command centers in production. And that's not nearly enough to stop the Marines. ByuN rips him apart. Dark, no further commentary. This time around, the Marines are just unstoppable. He only lost 30 to kill 180 Zerglings. And there was so much economy behind. Dark just never found his footing. I'm sure we'll get some great comments about the maps here, but a fun back and forth series. Dark, the tongue-in-cheek, and ByuN took that personally. Well, I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. I hope I made your day a little bit better. If you got the means of motivation, it'd be awesome to check out Patreon, but your liking and subscribing is still free for now. And if you haven't yet checked out the second channel for more gameplay of even other games, or SC2 and streams and all that, be awesome. And recommended autoplay on that. There's a whole checklist to keep track of, but that helps out a lot, leaving the autoplay on. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.